So that was just a quick clip of me doing my weekly boiler cleaning, my Saturday or Sunday morning, whichever day I feel like. That's the once a week cleaning. I load that bastard twice a day, once in the morning before I go to work, and then once again at night, sometime between 10 o'clock and midnight. I could put more wood in there and let it burn a little bit longer, but to keep it burning optimally and to keep the creosote levels down, it's best to aim for about 12-hour burn time. So that's kind of what I do. That's kind of my second boss. I have to feed that fucker twice a day, clean him once a week, and then really clean him every 90 days. So just want to throw that in there. But it's working great, and the heat is wonderful in it from the garage. It's a lot of work. Wood sucks, but that's what it is. So let's proceed. What's up, guys? March 2016. It's the 16th right now. Just when you thought that winter was over, we get dumped on with this storm this week. Got like almost 2 feet of snow up here, and I'm still garage bound. So in this video, before the winter's over, I wanna walk you guys around. I wanna show you some of the cool shit that I'm storing here before the spring hits and the owners come back and take their cars. But also, I want to talk a little bit about the direction of this channel. And I was hoping to get some feedback from you guys because I have a busy schedule. I work a day job. I go to the gym almost every day. And then I also have housework and other nonsense going on in my life. And I'm finding it hard to produce content on a regular basis. I've been aiming to upload a video every week, which hasn't, as you probably can tell, hasn't worked out that well. I did have a couple weeks in a row where I was hitting that target, but you know, life happens, things get in the way, and it's like, for me, it's a lot of planning because you have to plan the project. I have to get somebody to help me film, and then I'm the one who does all the editing and everything from there. Once it's all filmed, then I have to put everything together. So it just becomes, sometimes it's too much to keep up with that. And just to put this out there, I don't want to be a vlogger who just produces crap. I don't even know if I would call myself a vlogger because I don't really vlog that much. But like, it's kind of unfortunate, but it seems like the direction that YouTube's been going in, it's like more quantity over quality. And I see a lot of these channels and like, they're just producing like, it's just nonsense. It's them walking around like dicking around talking about like just shit that's happening. And like, I don't know. When I watch a video, I guess I make my videos like if I was the audience, and maybe that's like too selfish of me, and because I know that my views on everything don't align with everybody else's, but like I want to put like some sort of value in it, or like give something, right? Like I'm watching the video because I want to obtain something important or of something of value. So like I try to do the tech videos and show key points. I know they're in depth, but as a result, the cost of that is they're long, and I'm sure they're like kind of boring. If you're looking for entertainment, like I try to be like act like an idiot for some of it, for some entertainment value, but a lot of it, it's just like you can only make the technical content, like the informative part, like so funny, so maybe it doesn't work. But what I was thinking of is maybe it would be kind of cool to, in between the project videos and the build log videos, do something that I can film relatively quickly, ideally in one take, and something that I don't got to do a whole lot of editing for. If I could just splice the audio recorder over the video and not have to worry about transitions and time-lapse stuff and music, I can do those in between just to kind of keep the channel a little bit more active. So what do you guys think about maybe throwing throwing questions in of some topics maybe you'd like to talk about? I mean, try to keep it more car related because this is an automotive channel, but we could talk about comparisons if you guys want feedback, or like just have like open discussions about certain vehicles. Maybe that would be kind of something cool, quick and easy. So let me know what you guys think of that. If you have comments that you have questions or topics that you want to talk about, definitely throw those in there, and I can make it a point to start doing that. So I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say, and let's leave that there. A couple other things that are excited before I start walking around talking about cars is I'm working on my website, and it's just about ready to go live, which is www.garagequinn.com. Now, it's up. I'm not saying go to it now because it needs optimizations. I'm working with the web developer right now, and that's another thing that I have going on the side, because it's not optimized well, so the load times are horrible. And there's a lot of going back and forth between my hosting and the developer who built the site for me. But right now it comes down to the encoding. So we're working on that, trying to get that out. There's not really any content on there right now. There is a store for just the shirts, but I'm not even trying to like sell those or even push that. Ultimately, the goal for the site is to, one, have a centralized location to pour all my build threads in for like the Miatas, and then also I haven't really done any written build threads for like the S2000 or the RX-7 or BMW, the other cars that I have, and I obviously haven't done any videos for them just because I suck and I haven't gotten around to that, but that's going to be a central location with all that data, and then also a place where I'll link like the YouTube videos to that particular car and whatnot. The second part of it is I have some products that I'm going to be producing this year for stuff that I was going to make anyways for my own cars because there's just a gap in those markets, but I think I'm going to bring a couple of these products, and share them with enthusiasts, not really to like turn a profit, but like more just something to, because again, I see a gap in that market, and I think that there would be others who would want to have that for their own builds. So eventually that's really what the goal for that website is going to be a place to start selling the stuff that I'm going to be producing. I can't let you in on that yet because I don't want anyone stealing my ideas, but that's just something to come in the future. So enough about me. Let's take a tour of the garage, and I'll give you some updates on the current projects and some of the things that I'm working on that are going to be coming out soon, but also show you some of the really cool shit that I'm storing. So let's start with that right now. All right, so we will start over in this corner here. Now, again, I haven't introduced this car to the channel. I know it really is something that should be introduced, and not that there's going to be a whole lot for this build, but this is a cool car. It's a unique car, and there's some neat things about it. So this is going to have an intro video coming soon. I'll talk about just a couple small things that I've done to it so far, and things to come. One of them being right here, which just came in the other day, is this carbon front lip, which is pretty sexy, if I might add. But I'm going to be doing a video for the install on that. Not that I would imagine many people care, but it will be a fun little quick video to show. You guys have been seeing the videos I've been doing for Project AP2, and this is really fun because this is a car where I'm not really going nuts with the engine or doing anything crazy like that, so I'm doing a lot of the fun mods. It's been interior stuff right now. I got a couple exterior bits. And I'll also do some good technical stuff on this. So S2000 ownership, maintenance stuff, things that maybe are a little bit, some of you maybe want to take on yourself for a project but are a little bit unsure of. My Turbo Miata, I don't really have any plans for this in the near future. Ultimately, like I've said in the past, this is going to get a naturally aspirated 13B rotary engine, and I'm going to scrap the whole turbo motor, but that is not happening anytime soon. My all-motor ITB Miata, this actually I do have some stuff for. I recently picked up a 6-speed transmission from a Mazda Speed Miata, so I'm trying to source a 4.3 Torsen Type 2 differential, which if anybody has one and you're interested in my Torsen Type 2 differential that is painted and has energy suspension, or not energy, energy polyurethane bushings and a 4.77 final drive, hit me up because I would be interested in trading that for the 4.3 and maybe toss me some little bit of cash on the side just because the diff was rebuilt with all new hardware, and it's legit, no issues whining or clunking or backlash problems. So that's going to be something that's going to be happening soon with this Project AP1 S2000. I have to replace the motor mounts in this because they're finally letting go, and that's going to be a project that I will videotape. I got the hood, carbon hood, restoration still on the back burner, but it is something that I'm going to be leaning towards. I'm going to be doing some suspension stuff. I just got a Eibach sway bar, front sway bar in, which I'm going to be upgrading that. So I guess I'll do a video for that too, just to kind of keep the content rolling. And I'm working on a couple interior bits for that. So why don't we sneak over here. Oh, don't look at that yet. So let's sneak over here. I'll just show you a little preview of an experiment that I did during this last blizzard. I did some contrast 911 GT3 green stitching as just an experiment on my stock shift boot. So I'm not quite sure if I'm gonna stick with this thread color. I bought a couple different threads, but I want to like just see how I can do by, you know, the job that I can do being a knucklehead, doing my own kind of upholstery work and stitching. But I think the overall came out pretty fucking fantastic, if I might add. So I have a lot of plans for the interior of that car, and those will be some fun videos. Fixed hardtop brackets for the Red S2000. That hardtop squeaks and makes a shitload of noise. I have a video that I already did part 1 for, and it's just quieting down an aftermarket hardtop in that car. And this is kind of going to be the finisher for it. So yeah, let's rewind. Oh, and I'm sorry, this car. I'm almost done with the full review. I know my reviews are fucking horribly long. But this car has a lot of backstory, a lot of sentimentalness. This is really the car that started it all, and the whole reason why I ended up with Miatas and everything else. Like, this is the exact car that I wanted to buy but could not buy, and then ended up buying it 7 years later. So the full review, I got track footage. I have the driving review done. I just have to film me walking around the car, talking for a half hour like an asshole, and giving the whole backstory on it and all the modifications to it. But that is coming soon, and I'm hoping within the next year I can start doing the build thread for this car. And this is going to be a very special car, and I'm going to document everything from square one. So this is really going to be, it's going to be a lot of good content. And I'm really excited to start working on this for the channel. I'm just not rushing it because this is ultimately going to become the halo car. What my white, like right now, my all-motor ITB Miata is kind of like my halo car. That is the one that has the most time of my blood, sweat, and tears into it, but this is ultimately going to be the replacement for it. So I got a lot planned for this, and like I said, I just want to square up all the other little nonsense before I dive into it, because it's going to be no expense spared, and I don't want to rush anything. So let's move along here. You guys know what this car is now. If you watched the 5,000 subscribers giveaway video, this is my buddy, his 996 Porsche GT3. I don't want to uncover it again because, well, here, we'll do a little peek, but this cover's a real pain in the ass to put on, so I'm not going to uncover the whole car. But there she is. So let's come over here to these fucking gorgeous, gorgeous gems. And we'll start with this guy first. It's a little bit tight in here. I got some stuff like crammed in here, but let's start with this car. This is a 1976 Jaguar XJ-12C Coupe. Now, this is a car that was only produced for a year and a half, and all the US models were V12s, and they were automatics. This car, and this belongs to a good friend of mine, the owner of Motor Cars in Farmington, Connecticut. They are really awesome. They do a lot of European automotive sales and repair work, but they also are specialized in old classic Jaguar restorations and just maintenance and whatnot. But they do some really awesome stuff, and this is one of the owner's personal cars. I love this thing to death, and I tell him all the time, if he's ever going to sell it, please, please, please hit me up first. This is a little bit hot rodded. It's not like the original anymore. And also, the other cool thing is I'm going to be able to do a full review on this car, driving impressions and everything else, come the spring. So that's going to be something to look forward to with the channel. But just to give you a quick peek at it. So as you can see, it's got newer XJ wheels, and Recoro's from a newer XJ as well. But this car now is a manual transmission car, which was, the conversion was done from the European car parts, which they offered it in, and it has the inline six from I think a 70s or late 70s or early 80s E-Type. So really beautiful thing. I mean, coming out to the garage and looking at this thing, I'm like, God darn, I really lust for like a classic old school kind of squared, I don't know what you would call this, like an estate car. It's pretty big. It's like 190 something inches long, but it just is like, it's just classy. This is like the, hey honey, let's take a ride up to the vineyard in Litchfield this weekend and grab a glass of wine type of car. So this is another one of his gems, and this is like his I don't know what you would call this, backup retirement plan maybe? Not really, I'm just kind of kidding. But this is a 1993 or 94, I can't remember the year off the top of my head, but it's an XJR-S, which is a very rare make of the XJ-S. So the RS had bespoke wheels, the body kit, a lot of the chrome trim and stuff is removed. They only made 100 of these cars altogether. 25 black coupes, 25 black convertibles, and then 25 red coupes and 25 red convertibles. So this is technically one of 25. It's only got 9,000 and change original miles on it. It's a V12. The engine has a whole bunch of cool bespoke tidbits in it. And one thing I got to point out here is that this interior, aside from that atrocious looking steering wheel, but like the materials and like the soft leathers that was used back in 93, 94 is like really, really impressive. And this thing just like has class screaming all over it. Again, that wheel is horrible and it's got to go, but the rest of the car, the seats, all the upholstery and everything, it's just, it's a freaking cool car. And like at first when this thing rolled in here, I didn't think too much of it, but when I'm looking at the lines and I'm looking at I don't even know what you would call these, like because I think they originally meant for the car to be a fastback, but then they decided not to, so they kind of kept these archways that come down here. It's a really cool and unique car, and I don't know if I'll be able to do a review on this because it's, like I said, it's only got 9,000 and something original miles on it, but it's just a thing. It's definitely given me a new appreciation for the car. And the funny thing is the roof line is like almost the same height as my FDRX7. And my FDRX7 is lowered. It's only a pinch lower. And this car is enormous. This thing is a boat. It's so long. But after staring at this thing every time I came out here, I started to look them up a little bit to see what used XJs can go for. You can get manual transmission conversions for these cars pretty available now, and that's really cool. So let's come out here to the dungeon, and these are two more of my buddy with the Jags. These are his vehicles also. I don't know how well my camera's going to pick this up in the lighting because it's not that bright, but this is his. I don't even know what year this is. This has got to be like 1970s. It's GMC. It's got a fucking fuel cell in the back of it. It's this rat rod truck, and like I don't get the whole rat rod thing that much, but he loves this thing. I mean, it is cool. It is a cool car, but it definitely is an incomplete project. It's got some body missing in places that it needs to be rewelded and whatnot. Transmission farm here. Here's the new 6-speed from the Mazda Speed Miata. It's pretty low mileage. This was actually, fun fact, this was actually Turbo Tom's transmission from his Mazda Speed Miata before he swapped it over to an LS. A friend of mine bought the transmission from him for his K24 swap car, and he ended up parting the car out before finishing the project, and I picked the transmission up from him. So, little fun factor there. Also, this bad boy, which I have tucked up in the nose here just to keep the room, this is a 89 Jeep Comanche race Jeep, and this belonged to Tommy Archer. And I don't know how many of you guys know historic racing stuff, but the Archer brothers were known for this, and they campaigned some pretty sweet Chevrolet front-wheel drive Cavaliers, and I think it was either an IMSA class or an SCC, like a more pro SCCA class. But my friend here, he also owns one of the Cavaliers, And it's got this souped up carbureted inline 4 in there. It's like really high revving and just pretty cool stuff. I know he gives me the car with some water spots and dust on it. I was like, oh, killing me. But this is really cool. This is like this has like historic value, and I don't know. I'm just kind of surprised that this was actually a race car, and it's got some old Hoosiers on it that I'm sure are quite plasticky. Now my friend's had this out on Lime Rock on a couple of occasions, and he said it was just an absolute blast. It's just a 4-cylinder that powers it. You can kind of see the cage work here, and it's pretty cool how it extends out into the back of the bed here with the fuel cell. It's got a mint bed liner in it, and bed liner was actually one of the sponsors for the for the Jeep, but it's pretty neat. Manual transmission, and there's all the historic data. Let me see if I could zoom in on it. I'm not going to open up the door just because I don't have a lot of clearance, but there's the Archer brothers right there. Yeah, so 88. I called it an 89. Sorry. Yep, Racetrack Challenge, Manufacturer Champion. Pretty cool stuff having a historic race vehicle here. And you know, some of these aren't quite my cup of tea, but I absolutely appreciate them for what they are, and they're definitely pretty freaking cool. So that's where everything's at with the garage. Those are some of the upcoming projects to look forward to. And if you want to talk about stuff, leave it in the section below. And that's kind of all I got. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Done.